First Samuel 20. So today's reading is really sad, and we see that Saul was determined to kill David. And I think, like in the previous chapter, when Jonathan told him and he just kind of listened, I think he just listened so that Jonathan can be appeased, but he still had intention to kill. And we see that more clearly here. And it's actually shown here that Jonathan at first thought that his father listened to him and didn't have any ill meaning towards David, but David felt that that right here, that David really felt that Saul had bad intention towards him, and so they made a plan to kind of test out the water, and it came about as David predicted, and it's kind of sad because like when Saul got mad, he actually got mad at Jonathan, and then he was telling Jonathan that he is a son of a perverse and rebellious woman, and that pretty much like shaming him, shame to the mother who bore him because he sided with Jesse. He thinks that as long as the son of Jesse lives, then Jonathan's kingdom will not be established. And that is true because God already took away the kingdom from the Saul line and gave it to the David line. But he thinks that the problem is with David. He doesn't see that this is like something that is arranged by God. And so I guess he was worried for Jonathan not being able to succeed him as king, and he's like doing all this so that Jonathan can succeed him as king. But then when Jonathan asked why should he be put to death, what has he done, then Saul actually hurled a spear at him to kill him. And so that really solidified everything. And it said Jonathan got up from the table in fierce anger, and he was grieved. And I can feel Jonathan's heart and like torn between his friend and his father, and just seeing his father like just, yeah, the Bible said clearly shameful treatment of David. Like, that's hard to take. And so Jonathan gave David the sign, and then they wept together, and they actually Jonathan made David like have an oath that he will be kind to his family, even when like all the Lord like crushes all of David's enemy. And so it's actually very interesting that he said it, because he knew that David is God's anointed, and that God will bring about his kingship, and that that David's enemies will bow before him. So he knew all this is gonna happen, and he wasn't jealous or anything, but he wanted David to promise that when all of these things come to pass, when God makes fulfill his promises, that David will show kindness. And it's just like it just shows how great of a character Jonathan is. And then yep, and it's interesting also that David wept the most. So I would I would feel that. I mean, there's the weeping of having to be separated from your friend, and also the weeping of being unfairly treated and by the king whom you serve, and it's kind of like a betrayal, so I can understand it. But yeah, so they parted ways.